The big question on everybody's mind and the conversation we're going to have today is Delaware full? Introducing ourselves, we are a team of real estate agents. We've been selling homes now in Delaware for over 8.5 years, predominantly in the southern sections, Sussex County and Kent County, and that's where I want to start with some trivia. So for anyone that lives in Sussex County or Kent County, this may seem like easy trivia, but I think even some of our professionals are going to get it wrong. So starting with all three counties, Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex, which county do we think has the most homes for sale?
Sussex.
Sussex County. Sussex County currently has 2,237 homes on the market. Of those, 1,747 are fee simple, 675 are new construction, and 1,142 are being sold by normal, everyday, regular people via resale. Who's second, Kent or Newcastle?
That are actually on the market
currently.
I think
Kent.
Newcastle.
I think Kent.
Newcastle,
I think
Kent?
Newcastle sells too quickly, so their volume wouldn't build up quick enough. That'd be my guess. But.
Fair.
I thought
Patricia
It's a
Austin?
hard one.
I'll go with Newcastle.
I think it's Newcastle.
Pick one, Patricia.
I'm going to go with
Good
Kent.
bully.
I'll be the
Kent.
odd
All
one.
right. Well, we half and half. The answer is Newcastle.
Hey.
Newcastle has 835 homes on
Sorry
the
I
market.
influenced you.
152 are new construction. 586 are resale, normal everyday people. And Kent County only has 601 homes currently on the market.
That's what I remember.
234 left. That's what you remember?
We talked about it the other day. You said it was like 600 for
600.
King County. Yeah.
Of those, 165 are new construction and 398 are resale. Of the three counties, who has the most new construction? Correct. Sussex County by percentage and total volume has the most new construction. Want to walk through, though, the topic on the deck today being Delaware being too full. Delaware currently, population-wise, is sitting at 1.041 million in population. There are recent studies by some planning estimators that say that our cap, based off our current setup for population, might only be 1.35 million. So based off our current growth patterns, that gives us about 10 years until we might actually be capped. Couple reasons for that. Traffic. Traffic's a big one, especially down near the beach. According to DelDOT, there's about 66,000 cars in 2024 that made their way down Rehoboth Avenue, and this is a 2% year-over-year increase, and it's an 11% increase since 2014. So people that say that there's more traffic, they're not wrong. We have over 147 new neighborhoods and communities that have popped up in the last 2 years in Kent and Sussex County. And Kent's population has increased 12% from 169K to 192K. Sussex County, though, has grown at an obnoxious rate from 197,000 people to 271,000 people. A 31% increase over the last 10 years. So I want to start the questioning around one. I kind of just want to get everyone's feel real quick. Is Delaware full? Let's just start real quick there. We'll get into some more in-depth questions. We'll read some comments from our last podcast where we got some really good questions about where to buy, where not to buy. But let's just start real easy. Is Delaware full?
So I'm going to say it's not full, but it's full. It's overly congested into certain pockets, i.e. the beach area. Because my drive here today, I drove by all kinds of farmland and woods and empty land. There's plenty of land in certain areas, but in other areas, it's just been completely overbuilt and maybe not overbuilt, but built to a big capacity. And that is what's affecting the traffic and the infrastructure because it's all really congested and narrowed down to a certain area.
I'm going to piggyback on that. I agree. Professionally, we're not full, but as a local, born and raised, professionally,
As someone looking to buy, it's probably not full.
I got you.
as a real estate agent that sees it all day, I agree. But as someone who is born and raised here, I think it's way too full. It's too congested.
And if it's too congested for you and you need to sell,
Out of state. There's more people living here, obviously. I think people like to complain a lot, especially about how full, because it's change, it's different. You know, I wish it didn't take me 20 minutes to go to North Milford from South Milford. I heard that the other day, right? Through Milford, too much congestion, right? All these out-of-staters that live here now and all that. I live in South Milford. To get to Wawa and back, it is a 20, 25-minute round trip.
Wow.
It's not because of people driving. I have a bunch of traffic lights. It's 25 miles an hour downtown. It's going to take 20 to 25 minutes to do a round trip. But people don't think about that. They just say, it's all these out-of-staters because it's Friday, everybody's going to the beach. I want to complain about that. Again, pockets, Millsboro, great example. Millsboro has grown so much the last 10, 15 years. Middletown, another one, has grown. But it's pockets. It's not the entire state. And I'll flip the question around. People complain about all the new people moving here, but then they want things like Target. I had somebody tell me the other day, Milford needs a Target. We'd love a Target. Well, Milford's population inside the city per last census was about 11,000. Target needs 25,000 in order for them to even think about putting one in there. So if you want a Target, we need to double our population. Right. Or you can't complain about us not having a Target, right? It goes hand in hand.
It's funny you bring up Milford. I had this pulled up, and I want to read it real quick. There's actually a petition in place for a few different areas in specific, but Milford has its own petition right now to stop building for a full year, going on a moratorium. Reason being on the petition, which you can find on change.org. It's called Implement a One-Year Moratorium on Housing Developments in Milford, Delaware. Let me read this off my arm. Milford, Delaware has experienced rapid growth with the population increasing nearly 20% in the last few years. While this expansion might signal positive economic trends, it brings with it significant challenges for our community, infrastructure, environment, and quality of life. The unchecked development of housing has placed an enormous strain on local resources. Our schools, sewer systems are becoming overcrowded, roads are congested, and essential services are struggling to keep up. Furthermore, the character and quaint charm of Milford, cherished by residents, are at risk of being lost amidst rapid expansion. What would your take be? Because you're a Milford resident, you don't think that. You wouldn't sign the petition.
I wouldn't sign the petition.
Burn it.
I know. So I think there are aspects of infrastructure that need to be focused on. The school in Milford, as an example, there's a lot of kids that live here. We need to probably build another school because of the population increasing at that point. I also know a lot of people that have pushed that petition here locally in Milford have lived in Milford for less than 10 years. They were out-of-staters until they moved here 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. So there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek in that where you're complaining about, well, don't come here, but I'm here already, go away. I don't like the way that feels at the end of the day.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I also think people blow up against some things out of proportion. Like, this is the end-all, be-all, this is the issue with Milford. You see one or two things, and it's insane. People talk about the homeless issue in downtown Milford, right? You may see one or two homeless people ever in downtown Milford walking down there, right? And they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is out of control. It's not safe. It's not that. And I'm like, you don't even work on the 911 side of things. You don't see how life is for a lot of people, but you saw one or two homeless people, and now it's this huge thing out of control because Milford's growing so fast. Instead of, how can we help these people? Let's focus on that.
And Milford is the fastest growing city of all the areas
Yeah.
we're talking about in Kent and Sussex County. But there also are petitions for all of Sussex County just to stop building as a whole. A lot of the argument comes down to three main things: highway, hospitals, and overall infrastructure. Those are the main three. Obviously, infrastructure, sewer, schools. So what is a Sussex County to do when Shell Brothers has a brand new 1,100 unit community that's being built out in Milton, where we have K-Hop Nanian, Ryan Homes, all the like, all everywhere, building anywhere they can, getting any section of farmland to develop into a house that they can, and the homes are selling. The homes are selling. There's a lot of new construction that's sitting nationwide, but Delaware's homes are selling. So what are we supposed to do when we may not have the infrastructure to keep up, but people still want to move in, and that adds revenue to our state? It's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, it really
At least
is.
the way I look at it.
My biggest question is, can the increase in population and the profitability or the money that brings to the state, does it equal or keep up with the infrastructure needs, though, when it comes to roads, schools, doctors, hospitals? Because there's some, I've heard some chatter from different clients over the phone, maybe from New York or New Jersey or something, and they're saying, hey, I want to know, can I get a doctor's appointment if I need one? Are there enough out there to help me? Because, we do have a lot of relocators who are coming in as retirees, and that's one of their main concerns is healthcare. So I hope that we're able to keep up with that in the growth. The schools, I don't want to say they're secondary, but I honestly, I don't know how many people that are relocators are coming with children. Most of my clients are not all, but most of them are not. So it would be just overall roads and healthcare would be my biggest concerns when it comes to our growth, especially in the beach area.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, for 90% of my clients, because they're military, they do come with children, whether it's, preschool children or school-age children, and they're both having issues. Before, the little ones, there's no daycares, or daycares are full, and the ones that are available, they are expensive.
Expensive.
Very expensive. And then the ones that do have school-age kids,
The ratios are
they'll get in, but I mean, it's like, from what I hear from, my kids go on base, but the off-base kids, I think they're like 35 kids per classroom. And I'm like, that's insane, because mine, I think they have maybe 20.
Teachers are getting burnt
And
out.
teachers are getting
100%
burnt
they're
out.
getting burnt out.
I know definitely CR. I don't know about any other school districts. Might go to CR, but they need definitely more schools, like an extra elementary, extra middle, and definitely an extra high school. Because I believe you have, like 5 middle schools that combine into one high school, and like that's crazy.
It's slowly building up.
Yeah.
And that's only going to cause more pushback from
Yeah.
current citizens, because now the only way to do that is to raise taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking taxes, I hate to say it, I have been privy to some information where some local new construction communities and major infrastructure projects that have been put in the last 5 years have had a lot of taxes waived, which that could have benefited the city, or have attempted to make sure certain taxes and impact fees get waived to benefit them at the end of the day, which now falls on to the everyday Delawarean to cover that difference, because a legislator, a senator, a mayor, a local city council member wanted to push for that, so they looked good and can say, well, since I was elected in this, we built this huge thing now in this city. You guys are welcome.
And those impact fees, though, for those who don't understand that, that's what falls into what's called an infrastructural fee that is tagged onto a builder's cost to build a neighborhood. These are the permits. These are the basically the funds that they collect to make sure that the sewer is kept up with, because now there's more people using the bathroom, and that the roads can support the new people in, and the schools can support the kids. Having those waived is what you're saying. That's
Correct.
a good point.
Yeah, and some of it does not get brought up to public light, right? It's fed so deep into the numbers that get tracked to the
it's in the
state and
minutes
nobody
at some
knows.
local legislative meeting that no one's going to read.
Yep. But it's not like we're talking $10. I know of one where it was with a local fire department here in Delaware, where they tried to pressure them into saying so one of the impact fees goes directly to the local fire companies so they can better support the new thing that's happening. $500,000.
Got waived?
They tended to force them to waive it, to say you don't need that, right? Well, for a lot of places, that's going to be 3 years of full-time employment. That's a new ambulance being put into service, right? Just saying, you guys don't need it. It's fine. You can take care of it. But that's a direct impact to the local community.
And all to take it out of or add it back to the pockets of who? A builder, a
corporation.
multi-corporate
Yep.
multi-million-dollar corporation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Stuff like that. Again, it gets looked to the side because the politicians want to say, well, I did this huge thing, congratulations. Which means more pressure has to be put on the local politicians to say, we need to know what exactly is happening, and if this is going to get put in, what is or isn't getting waived. Which also means the local places where if it is going to impact you, the school district, et cetera, the superintendents don't need to just be like, okay, I have to do this to say yes because I have this job now. You push back. You represent us. You help protect the local communities. You need to have some teeth in the game.
Fully agree. Also, you brought up, is our population growth matching our newfound expenses? That's a great question. The one that we can see, those are tax revenue. That's one that is a publicly accessible number. So in 2013, we had $3.8 billion in tax revenue. 2023 was $6.5 billion. So we are moving up faster than population.
What year was the second number?
Second number is 2023. It's the last number.
So that number is going to go up because you think about Kent County's taxes.
Yes, and this is
Increase, and
overall
now
tax
Sussex.
revenue, not
Yeah.
just
Not just property
tax. But
Sure.
of course, that's where we get a lot of it.
Sure.
So yeah, that did just go up. More than likely, it'll see a 10% raise because that's the maximum that they're allowed to make in addition to what they made in the prior year. So yeah, that probably is going to be well over $7 billion. So yeah, we are making more money, which I think comes to the argument of a lot of people of like, why aren't we putting this new hospital? Why aren't we getting more doctors? Why aren't we getting more teachers? Why are we not seeing anyone trying to fix the traffic problem that we get that seems to get worse every year, and statistically from DelDOT is actually statistically getting worse every year?
Yeah, don't incentivize, big corporate builder.
Yeah.
Incentivize doctors. Help them out with their student loans or whatever. Bring
Yes.
some young doctors in here that want to make it a home and become part of Delaware.
So with that being said, has Delaware been too attractive for too long? I want to lock in on this question for a second, because I think that there's a lot of people who saw, let's go back to 2013, Delaware is kind of like a well-kept financial secret. Yes, we got good corporation laws, and yeah, we got no shopping tax, and oh my goodness, wow, they have beaches too, and wow, the restaurants are really good. Everything's drivable. Why don't we move here instead of New Jersey? It seems to have been happening for quite a while now. Has it been happening for too long?
I mean, I don't think for too long. I mean, I think that's just, I feel like every state wants that, right? So it should be a good thing to have.
Maybe too quickly.
Maybe too quickly. Or maybe the other, I think COVID is what made it worse, obviously, because, New Yorkers were getting $1 million, whatever, money for their homes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's come back here.
Yeah,
and,
they're selling their $1 million
and
house and come to Delaware.
buy it for cash. So I think that's what ruined it. It wasn't, there's nothing wrong with the way Delaware is set up. It's what happened after COVID. I think that's what
Delaware was
ruined it for
really
Delaware.
affected by COVID compared
Yes.
to the places.
It really
Yes.
was. Yeah.
More
Yes.
of in a positive way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where a lot of places financially got hurt by COVID
Yeah.
because they left the big cities and emptied out apartment buildings and stuff like that. They decided to move
come here.
because they could work
'cause
remotely
they
and
could-
different things.
Yeah, they could work remotely, or they're close to the big cities. I mean, a lot of people commute 2 hours. I'm like, oh, it's cheaper to live here. I'm okay with paying, gas to drive and earn more money over there.
But then you
Yeah.
flip it, and now you've got the locals who
Yes.
it's much more
Hurting.
difficult to afford
Correct.
the housing because the cost of wages hasn't
Yes.
increased at
Yeah.
the same time. Yeah.
I mean, because I'm not born and raised here, but I mean, I moved here in 2014, so that's 11 years ago. I was here, when there's slow time, everything was chill, and seeing it after COVID, I'm like, oh wow, like that it changed because
It did.
of all the people moving down.
I mean, we moved right before COVID.
Yeah.
And it was fine. Had no issues. I bought my first house for $140,000. We came back after COVID, and it's just a day and night difference compared to what it
Yeah,
was prior.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll say COVID then, and that's interesting because we have a tabletop podcast from I think it was 2021 where we called it the Great Migration, and we talked about how this was starting to happen more and more and more. So yeah, it's a good thing. Like back to what you had said, it's a good thing. Like you want to be an attractive state.
You do. You want low property taxes. I mean, I would hope every state doesn't want, sales tax. Obviously, whatever their states do their own thing, but it's a good thing that Delaware has going on. But people are taking advantage of it now.
But when does it get to the point where it's not a good thing? I guess that's where people want to know, where's the line? How long can it be good before it's not?
I think there needs to be more to do here locally, like more restaurants, more shopping.
Yes.
That's
It's-
fair.
We're just building new
Especially in
construction.
central Delaware.
Yes.
Especially
Yes.
in Kent County.
Yeah, because I think Wilmington's fine. I mean, Wilmington, there's not.
Yeah, above the
Newcastle,
bridge,
there's nothing
plenty
that
to
you
do.
can really
Plenty to
keep
do.
building.
If you're by the
Plenty to
beaches, it's
do.
fine. If
Yep.
you're Newcastle, you're fine. It's that, Felton, Harrington, Seaford, Bridgeville,
Harrington,
Yeah.
Seaford.
Georgetown,
Yeah.
like there's just nothing.
There's nothing to do.
Nothing
But
to
like
do.
Austin
building.
mentioned earlier,
Don't
you
knock
need
Felton. Don't knock Felton. Felton's fire. Don't
Get
knock
in
Felton.
a Wawa.
They're getting a Wawa, okay? Chill out.
but
Travis Kelsey's pumped.
but at the same time, I mean, like Austin said, you need a certain population for those types of businesses to come.
Yeah, someone the other day was talking, why don't we have a Whole Foods in Milford? Hey guys, we're getting a Five Below for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, it's the income of the area
Yeah.
showing its ugly face. And yes, that's growing and we are getting more people, but I think the intricate part of the argument, or at least the discussion gets to, if we have so many people moving in from out of state that make a superior income, meanwhile the local doesn't have the opportunity to come close to maybe sometimes that income, what's it doing to our communities that some people are making 40, 50 grand and need what we have, and then there's other people moving in, like, where's the Whole Foods at, guys?
Yeah.
I think that's also some of the pushback from the locals is maybe a little jealousy. You can afford
Jealousy?
this. Yes, of the locals.
That's a choice word.
Well,
I mean, I get it.
no, hold
Envious.
Yeah.
on. Envious, whatever.
You can say whatever you want. I'm
No,
just
but
saying
but,
words.
but my point is, okay, you just said it. You know, we're making somebody here is making 40, 50,000. Well, somebody just moved from New Jersey and they just bought a $500,000 house cash because they sold for $850.
And they make $200 a year.
And they're making
Yeah.
$200 a year working
Right.
a remote job. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I can't get ahead, and I'm still living in a 2-bedroom rental and paying $1,600 a month.
That keeps going up in price.
Right. So I could see that
Okay.
being some of the negativity
Yes.
from locals.
I'm like, no, I don't want it because I can't afford it.
Right.
Let's stay around that. The negativity around locals. Where do we think that conversation stems from? Austin?
I think income's a big part of it. I think that also goes back to some of these bigger corporations where they can justify paying people less money because according to Delaware, the average income in Sussex County is 38 grand. Kent County is 41, 42. So we can-
42,500 as of this
My
year.
apologies. It's close, sorry. They can justify paying people less. And I've had people move to Delaware being told you're not getting a pay decrease because you live in Delaware and you no longer live in Jersey or this part of Maryland or this. And I know of local businesses that will not increase the wages because they don't feel the need to.
And that's the frustration because you're not increasing the wages and we're getting such an influx of people. So you're just feeling the burnout with not an increase of pay. And yet you still can't afford a basic home in Delaware.
Well, the argument, Patricia, would be, well, we have raised wages. We actually raised minimum wage.
We have, but not to the point of the first-time home buyers getting into the house.
Yeah, it's really everything in the middle is
Yeah.
what you're saying. It's not, yes, we've raised minimum wage, which is good. That's keeping more people off the streets, getting more people some money in their pocket to live. But the gap between someone that's moving from Jersey, someone that's coming down from Connecticut, retired from New York, and a regular medium wage job,
Still not enough.
nowhere close. Because in Delaware right now, you have to make $97,000 in Kent County to be able to afford the median home. It's $112,000 in Sussex County. In fact, I think I have those numbers. But where else are locals frustrated? Like, we're all locals. Well, I've been here since I was 6 years old, so I'm pretty local. What's the most frustrating part about Delaware continuing to fill up for you as a local?
I mean, traffic, not the infrastructure not being where it needs to be. I mean, I get it in the sense of we need more people first, but as a local, you think we need the things first before the people. So that's hard. I mean, we went last year. I won't ever go back in the summer. But from Cape and Lobend over Hobith, it took us 45 minutes to get there. That's insane.
Yeah.
You know, it used to take us 10, 15 minutes.
It's been a few years since I've gone down to the beach in the summer. Like, I will avoid it. at
I'll
all
avoid it
costs.
now.
Yeah.
I've never been like
will
that,
not
but I
go
will
down there.
avoid it.
Yep.
It's things like the doctors, you know,
Yeah.
I can't ever call my PA and expect to get, you know, if I'm sick, I'm waiting 2 to 3 months before I get seen. And so that's a frustration for people coming out of state. They're coming here for the sense of, I need a good cardiologist, oh my gosh, I can't even speak.
Pulmonologist.
Pull something. And it's like,
Maybe
it's
working with blood.
frustrating because they're coming here, but I mean, I get it because they're waiting 6+ months, but I mean, even for us, we're waiting 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get seen on base, but, you know, they refer our care because they can't do much there. Like, my wife, she has a neurology appointment that she's scheduled in March. It's not until end of July. Mm-hmm. So, and that's off base, you know, what's it called?
But that's 3
care.
months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, when I lived in Tampa, it was in 2 weeks you can get in because they have so many hospitals, so
much
many doctors,
infrastructure.
whatever. Here is like, you know, Kent County only has so many doctors or
And you
specialties,
think like
whatever.
OBGYNs, you know, if you're having a baby,
Good luck.
good luck.
You have to
It's
drive like an
insane.
hour, from what I've heard from
It's insane.
clients. I'm like, where's the closest OB? I'm like, from what I've heard, it's like up north or
And
down
it seems
south.
like a problem that would continue
Yeah.
to multiply on itself if
Yeah.
we don't do something because we're only getting more people, right?
Yeah.
And we're not really, like, to my knowledge, we're not doing anything to motivate somebody to go be an OBGYN or come down from Philly to
No.
be a doctor here. Like, we're not, to my knowledge, right?
There's nothing at all. So again, that's another issue where, so there was legislation that was trying to get put across this year in the Delaware General Assembly for the state to have authority to oversee some of the hospitals' budgets, right? I'm friends with a lot of people that are working in a lot of these hospitals. Their pay has increased barely anything post-COVID. A lot of them are struggling to find housing that are nurses, that are higher level or mid-level care providers, right? And they're unbelievably short-staffed in a lot of these places, and they
Very.
will yell from the top of their lungs on how they need additional resources. And the hospitals, as an example, will just be like, big deal. You'll
You
be
know,
fine.
when you're waiting 3-4 months to be seen, or let's say they have to reschedule for whatever reason, because that happens too, and then the patient finally gets in, they're angry, they're frustrated, they're relaying that on you, and that's not your problem, but that burnout is
Yep.
so insanely real. It doesn't incentivize anyone to continue to work.
Yeah. I know another thing that frustrates locals is they're not have, because the salary's not keeping up, so most of them have to have a job too. There has to be a
Dual income at the very least in the
but then
household.
females cannot work because there's no daycares to put their kids, or if they are, they're very expensive. It doesn't make sense to work and pay for daycare.
Right.
So I think building more daycares or incentivize, the state incentivize daycares to, hey, like, charge less and here you go. I don't know.
The
something.
little school in Dover, and they have
So
one
expensive.
one down in
Great
Lewis, too.
school.
That was
Yeah.
Great school.
$12.50 a month.
It's
for one small little.
like I can buy two. I can buy two cars.
A mortgage.
Yeah,
payment.
literally a mortgage. I can buy two cars. Like
Yeah.
with that, literally.
I think part of that though is not just Delaware focused though.
Correct.
The things that we're talking about right here with
That's everywhere,
with-
but I feel like the
is-
influx of people coming at the
doesn't help.
Yeah,
the pace
that's
that they're
where
coming.
the just to be clear, I'm glad you brought that up because there is a distinction. Home prices are going up everywhere.
Yes.
Wages are stagnant everywhere. I talk about this all the time on my social platforms. Like, we have a lot of issues nationwide. Delaware has this really specific issue because we have more people flooding in. We're already the 6th densest state in the country. We're moving closer up to 5th now. And it seems like we're not doing enough infrastructurally to keep up with it.
Correct.
And when it comes to salaries and hourly wages, there's got to be a point where cost of living should somehow try to catch up with or medium wages should try to catch up with the cost of living.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like that there's a care there from that side.
And the median household income, just to be clear, Austin, you had brought up the individual average household or average income. So that's individual wise. I want to read household. Kent County is $59,500 for a median household. Sussex County, $63,000. I think that number's reported low too. 'Cause
That's
a lot
very
of people
low.
moving in are getting their retirement fund money.
Yeah.
So I think that number's underreported. And then Newcastle's $80,610. A lot of working individuals there, so it makes sense. Median home value there in Newcastle's $390. Homes are sitting on the market for 22 days on average. Kent County, median homes $357,000. Homes are sitting for 30 days on average. And Sussex County, a lot more new construction, but their median home is $460, and their homes sit for 56 days on the market. It's still overall a quick market in Delaware. Homes are still selling, especially when they're priced well and it looks nice. We've had a few homes right here within this room where they sold first weekend, multiple offers. That's not gone in Delaware. So do we see home prices continue to go up? And second question, are we building for transplants instead of locals now?
I think yes and yes. Home prices I don't see them coming down. There's no reason to because of the transplants that are coming in. And I do think that for a builder, it does not make sense for them to build the first-time home buyer that's struggling home. It makes sense for them to build where the infrastructure, like in Newcastle or in Sussex County, where everything is populating well, they're going to spend the $500 plus because it makes more sense.
Build the 4-bed, 2.5 bath with a basement instead of the row homes.
Yep.
Okay.
I think if wages increased, a lot of the new construction would make sense for some local Delaware residents. I sold quite a few new construction before COVID because it made sense. I got a new house.
We
beautiful,
mentioned
all that.
RN. I never talked to an RN pre-COVID that couldn't buy a house.
Yeah.
Now it's common.
Yeah, now it's a struggle at the end of the day because you have debt to income, you have that higher car payment, you have your student loans, everything on
And the
it.
reverberating effect that happens from being tight that leads to you not paying things on your credit, it leads to a lower credit score, and then you don't have as much in savings. It's just a reverberating effect that starts with income.
It does. I think the other aspect with new construction, there's a proposed plan of some new construction in Milford that is quote unquote affordable that one of the local politicians was bragging about the other day of, the price point's $100,000 to $200,000. My first two questions with that is A, what tax incentives is that new construction builder going to get at the end of the day that could have been utilized here? But second, at that $100,000 to $200,000 price point, when you're talking about, 2-bedroom options, 1-bedroom options, you also need to be very transparent on what that means for that piece of property. You're going to be on 0.05 of an acre. The interior square footage of that's probably going to be 400 square feet. It's equivalent of an apartment, but it's stick-built house. You need to be honest with people that that's what you're going to get. You're not getting this 1,500 square foot rancher. You're getting a place where you can say, I have a bed, I have a bathroom, it's a house, there it is.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this, about the fact of tiny homes,
Yeah.
becoming a thing.
I like it, honestly. I know you want more transparency. I do
Yeah.
too. But I like the idea of more tiny homes. I really, 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 really do. Because, there's the tax incentive side of things. And I don't know necessarily that there are many for smaller homes. Maybe we're giving them massive incentives to do so. But I would love if we created a system that said, hey, big multimillionaire corporation, we'll give you these incentives, just please build smaller homes because we need them drastically. And I think that's more of a nationwide. We need
I think there's a lot of that we need. Same thing even with condominiums, I think is a good example. If we can build some more affordable ones, then you have no landscaping you got to take care of. They're saving money at that point. Sure, maybe there's an off-put with the COE fees, but again, it's things like that where it is more affordable. I mean, you look at Hearthstone over there. Their condominiums are like 250s. The new ones are around 3, but you can get a resale in the 250s, 260s, versus attempting to buy a home in Milford. You're talking 350 plus, if not more.
I like the idea, but however, who is buying those tiny homes?
I think there's plenty of people that want to buy them.
I have a home in Magnolia, 2,400 square feet, and all my feedback that I've received is too small.
2,400?
Half an acre,
No,
2,400.
listen, I'm talking a whole different market.
Yeah, but what's the price
of that
point?
home?
Yeah, I was
It's
about to say.
$425.
No,
That's
see, I'm
why.
talking about
Correct.
$185,000 house
Yeah.
that's 500 square feet.
It's just
Gone.
not. I
Yeah,
don't think.
but that's
would
you're
be
talking about
gone.
that. So most relocators are the ones buying, right?
Who?
The relocators.
Relocators,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's too small for them. They
No,
want
but-
bigger
but
homes.
this
We're
is-
talking
this
about
is
the
to-
local.
But then
this
the
is to the
locals,
locals.
you also have the locals that are realistic. They want that
Then they need to get
2,400
out of
square
here. They need to
home
figure
for
out what's real.
300,000.
That's the thing.
Correct.
It's setting the expectation for the first-time home buyers that are struggling. We always wanted the 3-bed, 2-bath on a half an
Yes,
acre.
yeah. Correct. I
For
agree.
the price point, I'm always telling people up front, for $320, you're getting a townhome. Like there's
Yes.
just, but that's where we're
and
at.
a lot of people are like, I don't want that. I want my own home.
But
Well,
that's the
there
thing.
it doesn't exist.
That's
But
the
I think
shit.
you have to force reality a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, even if I wanted to and could afford to buy a $250,000 home, where do I go? There isn't one.
There isn't.
I
It
agree.
doesn't
There isn't
exist.
one.
I agree.
And I'd argue that a large portion of would-be first-time buyers are only limited by their budget.
Correct.
And if they didn't have no options, they would take whatever option was there.
But I mean,
I just
And
think
then they
that
get to build
do
equity
you,
at
do
the
you
very
think
least instead of
that's
paying
real? Because I
rent.
mean, as a builder, playing devil's advocate, as a builder, if I know people are being picky, I'm like, nobody wants the
Absolutely.
1,100
Right now,
square
as a
feet.
builder, if I get
Yeah,
the
like,
choice
why would I
between why
build
would I
them?
build a McMansion
Yes.
versus a first-time home, I'm going to
Yes.
build the McMansion.
Correct.
Because
Right.
people are doing it. That's where I get into. I think we need to have incentives to where if you do this, you're going to get X, or you'll get Y, or you'll get to do Z in 2 years.
Yeah, because the builder, if they're making these tiny homes for $200,000, it's where are they making enough in their return for it to
That's
benefit
volume.
them?
It's
Not
gotta be
only that,
volume.
but
It would
are
have
they
to be
actually
volume.
going to sell? Because
Yeah.
again, people are being picky. I'm like, no, I want.
Like you
I
almost
want
have to have
300.
you almost have to be a builder
I
that
would
already has.
guarantee they'd sell.
Carla, I'm going to argue with you because one of the ones that he spoke about, multiple offers on the market for 5 days, went for 20,000 over asking, and it's 2-bed, 900 square
That's
feet.
another thing. I think if someone would to ever build the tiny homes, we need to not keep. Oh, I'll pay 10 more and I'll pay
Yes.
50. Like
Oh,
it needs to
God,
stay.
yeah.
It needs to stay. No more. What if
Flat
it's
sticker price.
please, please.
And maybe it's a world where, let's say, town of Milford. Let's say there's a lot of 800 acres that they could redistribute and sell. Maybe it's working with a builder and saying, we're going to donate you this land. so
Yeah,
you
someone's
do
gotta
have
donate
profit,
it.
and half of the revenue is going to come back to the city, and you get to keep the other half. And we're going to there has to be some creativity.
Donation, or the builder already has to have the land and have sat on it
You
for
know damn
50
well
years.
builders
The
are
dirt's too
greedy.
expensive.
That ain't gonna happen.
Absolutely, the dirt's
Yeah.
too expensive. You got to
Yeah.
pay $2 million for the dirt. You're going to think, how can I build the most big homes,
Yeah.
2-story,
I got it for
3-story
free.
that I
Hell
can?
yeah, I'm gonna get more money. Yeah, I'm like,
I hear the people, especially the locals, a lot of times they're like, Yeah, that was a beautiful farm out there. It was 100 acres. It's been a farm for 100 years, and they're just taking our farmland away. And I think to myself, okay, if you were the person who inherited that land because Grandpa died, and you now live in California, you're gonna. I'm
I'm
sorry.
get
sorry,
that
I'm
call.
dying on this land.
We
You're
get
gonna-
that call all the time.
You're
too.
going to sell it. You're
Grandpa
gonna
died, Uncle Terry died, Aunt
Or,
Wilma died.
you know, you get the, Five versus a farm, right? They have things to do. You get the locals every year. It's getting so expensive to go do whatever at Five First. I'm like, it's a local farm. Don't you want to support them? Like, and so people
Nah, I'm not supporting
complain
their
about
kids.
it.
I supported the old Pfeiffer's
Correct,
owners.
like-
Their kids
See, and
are
I fall in
greedy.
that. It's hard for me.
Their
It's
kids
so
want tons of
hard.
money.
But then again, so they have so many workers. Have you noticed how many workers? Like, they're trying to give a living, but people complain, oh, it's too expensive. Well,
Well, because I don't want to pay $15 to pick strawberries.
Yeah.
correct. But do you not want to pay the locals a good living?
No, I
wage?
don't,
Okay,
I don't.
So you don't want people to have
I
a
But
living
don't.
that's
wage,
me
but
as a
you
local. I'm
want
like,
people.
everyone else can leave. Like, I'm happy with my little tiny state that I have.
Yeah,
and
like-
affordable.
But that does fall into the category because if
Yeah.
we didn't have a surplusing population, we wouldn't have to continue to serve
We were fine the
more
way we were.
people. That requires more staff and requires all that. I hear you, but it is this. There's people that want to move in, and then there's people that are already here that don't want the effects of the people moving in. But yet, there's nothing stopping these people from moving in. And of all the states around us, what better state to move to?
Yeah, it's a great state.
Best tax incentives, best home prices. It's chill, but yet you're still near fun stuff. Like, it's a great area. So the too good for too long thing, I think, is very real, personally.
And I don't think people realized how good we had it before COVID.
Right.
I really don't.
the locals.
The locals didn't
locals.
realize it.
I honestly,
Exactly.
to me, I didn't realize how good it was until after COVID. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have bought when I moved here in 2014.
So, so statistically speaking, a person who is in Sussex County, so we're going to take that $63,000 median household income, okay? That person can afford a $235,000 house. So let's play a quick little game.
How many there are in the market?
Play a quick little game.
One.
See how many homes they can afford.
I know there's a few
So-
cheaper.
Don't get ahead of me. So Kent and Sussex County only, not Newcastle. I have 5 different tiers. Tier 1 is 650 plus. Tier 2 is 450 to 650. 3 is 350 to 450. Tier 4 is 250 to 350. And the final tier is 0 to 250. 1 through 5, which tier do you think has the most homes currently active?
5. Tier 5.
Tier 5?
More active?
650 plus. Okay. Others are 650 to 450, 450 to 350, 350 to 250.
No, I thought you said
250
650 to 450 was tier
I think
5.
the tiers
That-
need to be
Tier
flipped.
4
Tier
then.
four.
Tier 4.
I would
That's
do
tier
the
I think the numbers need to be flipped with
350
the
to
tiers.
450.
Maybe.
350 to
450 to
450.
650.
350 to 450. Okay. What do you think, Patricia?
Tier 4.
Tier 4?
Whatever's 450 and above.
We lost
450 to
last time when
650.
you went with my guess.
So 450 to 650 is more than a quarter of the entire inventory. It's 25.8%. Patricia heard it before we started. Not gonna let her.
Oh,
Not gonna let her get away with that. I did see you trying not to answer, and then
I was gonna
forced. Yeah,
wait.
you were gonna wait. I pushed you into it. 650 plus is second, with 22% of our inventory being 650 plus. 350 to 450 is third. That's 18% of our inventory. 250 to 350 is 12% of our inventory. There's only 417 homes. And if you are making the median income, the range you can afford, 0 to 250, there's 3.99% of our
Is
current
that fee
active
simple or
inventory.
is that lane lease?
These are all fee simple.
Oh, okay.
These are all fee
Good
simple.
question.
Well,
It's a
the,
good
land,
question.
the land lease could greatly affect
could greatly affect this. So
Now
we did
I
make
can
sure it's
tell
only
you
fee
those
simple.
0 to 250, most of them are manufacturer homes too.
The other thing this doesn't factor in is also a lot of that could be unbuildable. A lot of them could be non-mortgageable.
Yeah.
So with that 3.99%, maybe we're only talking 1.2% are mortgageable, ready to buy houses.
Right.
Even
Because
that.
Because the people
those
at that
don't sit very long.
because the
No.
people at that income that we're talking about, that lower income, they're looking for FHA.
Yes.
They want
Or USDA.
which is
USDA,
going to be
VA.
more
Yeah.
Which means it needs to be
restrictive.
ready to
VA.
go day one, no big fixes. Yeah, mortgageable from day one. So do we start to see these numbers shift at all, you think, over the years? These tiers?
Unless the income
distribution?
increases, then it's only going to get
Worse.
worse. It's only going to get bigger. That number is only going to get bigger.
I mean, I remember, I've only been an agent not even 3 years, and there was a few homes that I could sell great for that 250, 275 price point.
All the time.
Yeah, and that was 3 years
I
ago.
bought my first house 2016 in total, and probably market value is right at 180. I got it for like 160. The resale within 3 years was 250. That home today would sell for 380.
August will be our 3-year anniversary, and we've already built like 80 grand in equity, and we're sitting on an acre, and it's under 300,000.
And that's, I think, a lot of the frustration, honestly. If I could say one thing, the big frustration about the transplants, and we touched on this already, is the money factor. It's that they didn't really earn the money that they have.
Right.
The New Yorker who bought their home for 450 and now it's 850, that now has 400 grand in equity that they're using to just pillage Delaware. It's not like you started a business or did something to really earn it. You just lived in your house. I think there's a lot of locals who haven't gotten into real estate, hadn't gotten into homeownership yet, that kind of feel gypped by that. That feel like, wow, my friend lived in a home, just happened to live in a home in Jersey, and now he's got 250 grand to his name. We're the same age, same degree, same lifestyle. I decide to rent, and he decided to buy. And now look at us.
I think there's a lot less of that as far as I bought 5 years ago in New Jersey, and now I'm in a great position where I doubled my money. I don't think there's a lot of that happened. I think that you had to be really lucky, right time, right place, all that. I think there's a lot of retirees that have built up a crap ton of equity over the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Combination of all of it. Absolutely.
100%. And I think that's the one thing a lot of Americans don't get. Obviously, equity is one of the easiest ways for you to build wealth over your life, right? In that house.
Homeownership's the gateway drug to wealth.
100%. And if you didn't get into that opportunity before COVID in Delaware, you're on the struggle bus now
Now,
because
would
you
you
don't
say,
have income.
just to pause real quick,
Yeah.
would you say that now it's too late?
No.
It's not.
It's not, you still see home prices continue going up.
Yes, you got to think is if you buy it today, in 10 years, you'll be okay.
I
right?
think it's just the realization of what you're getting for the price point now. We first-time
us,
home
yeah.
buyers still don't understand. Like, they just straight up say, well, then I'm not buying. Like, if I have to buy a townhome, I just don't want to buy.
Correct. Instead
And-
of like, hey, like, let's step up.
Because you're not going to be able to afford the townhome in 5 years.
No. Correct.
I talked to somebody the other day, I think it was another realtor, about that specific conversation with people, right? There's still opportunity out there. You can still buy. You can still build equity and wealth through real estate
And
at the
homes
end
are
of the
starting
day.
to sit a slight bit longer,
100%.
especially if they're not priced aggressively.
So there's still options, maybe get closing cost assistance, things that can make things a little bit easier for you. But at the end of the day, it's this, right? This is the reality of the situation, and it sucks. But it's your choice on what you're going to do to make that happen.
I like how you switched talking to the camera there for a
100%.
second. I felt uninvolved.
Yeah, you are. I'm talking to you, not him,
like,
not
who's
the
he talking
realtor.
to?
I need to talk to you.
Hey!
You've got to decide what you're going to do at this point to make do for your life and your future. Yes, before COVID, if you worked at Walmart, you and your significant other, I could get you in a home.
Yeah.
It's not an opportunity now. So you got to make the decision for yourself. What are you going to do, and what are you willing to make happen in order for that to lead where you want in your life? It's up to you. It's harder.
Sean behind the camera. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you
No,
going to say?
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna just add to that. Like, I was just at a showing this morning. We were negotiating on my way here of what we're gonna offer, and we're literally gonna offer asking price, but we're gonna ask for all the closing costs to be included, to be paid by the seller, because that house has been on the market for 94 days.
And not a lot of people know you can do that.
No, there are still those opportunities. So I know there's been a lot of negativity, in our conversation, or some negativity in our conversation about prices and, affordability, all that good stuff. But there are still good opportunities out there. You still have to make some money. Unfortunately, not everybody makes enough
Well, a lot
money.
of people that are moving in, especially if you're listening to this podcast right now, you more than likely live outside of Delaware looking to move in. A lot of the problems we're talking about probably don't even apply to you.
My client lives in New York City.
Yeah, so a lot of these problems don't apply, and you can get in, fly in, get your house, and within 3 to 4 years maybe realize you're part of the problem. But you're not going to care because you got the home you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you bought it in cash. I was telling Sean when we talked yesterday, it's yesterday, about locals, specifically locals, having a job isn't enough to buy a house anymore. You have to have a career. You have to own a business. You definitely have to be dual income. And more than likely, just from money flying out the door, you probably can't have kids, especially if you're younger, especially if you're single income. Dual income, maybe you can make it happen. But I guess my question, and it's probably going to be a quick, easy, negative one, but does that start changing at all? Do we start seeing a world where we get back to single income and get you into a ranch in Hartley at the least? Hartley's a town in
Not-
Delaware.
not
I was
in-
about to say.
Not anytime soon, I don't think.
I agree. I just wanted to post it out there.
Yeah.
Something that I don't know if there's a way to find this online or something. You know, a lot of the locals.
Me and ChatGPT will try.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, besides working at a hospital, besides being military, working for the state, what other jobs? Owning a business, right? Like a construction business, whatever. Or what's another? I don't know. If there's
For Delaware specifically?
Yeah, like
Pharmaceutical and biotech is big for us too.
okay, and like working for farms, right? Like I don't know why if there's any really corporate jobs besides Newcastle, like any corporates down here. Those people that don't have any one of those type of jobs, where are they working and what kind of education they had? Did they go to college? Did they get a degree, or were they just finish high school and let me go work at
Yeah, they need a
Walmart because I
degree.
can afford it, and then that changed. You know, like I want to see if we can see the stats. I'm like, okay, those people that are complaining, I can get a good paying job. I'm like, well, what did you do for school? You know, was there something that set yourself up, or was that just a Delaware thing that people just kind of, I didn't need to go to college because it was affordable. So I don't know if that's something
Well, I
that we
think there
can
was a
find out.
time when you could just go and, maybe one of the people in the household was a secretary at the insurance
school,
office,
yeah.
and the other person, was a plumber, and that was very easy money
Yeah.
to
And
buy a
daycare
house.
also wasn't a mortgage.
Yeah.
It's not the case,
Yeah, and to Patricia, to Carla, to your point, we have shifted more from you could start your career when you wanted to start it to now if you didn't get it started when you were 16 and get rocking building experience, it's very tough, especially if you're not going into a trade. Like I love the plumber, electrician. We won't get into the AI conversation, but like there's a lot of issues right now in the entry level white collar economy, especially legal, marketing, design that is being eaten away by AI. So I agree that there's probably a lot of people who thought that they could start their career later on that maybe are now looking at it like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, because I know everybody that works at school. I mean, obviously most of them have to have at least a bachelor's, but I see a lot on those mommy groups like, hey, like I want to get a better job, like anybody hiring? I'm like, and usually all the people I'm like, well, like what do you have experience in? Like, what's your education? Blah blah blah. So I think that's the biggest things with Delaware. Like, what happened with? Oh, I don't have to go to school. I'm fine. And then now I'm like, oh crap! Like
I don't know what our
I
percentage
need
of education
something
versus
to get
other
a better
states would
paying
be.
job. And then where are those paying jobs? Like besides
Few and far between.
yeah, like where are those?
Correct.
good-
Kent County
yeah.
is barren of high-paying careers. Absolutely.
Which is scary to build an infrastructure or like new restaurants, new businesses here when, especially Kent County, like we're not building up.
I think it was NPR, shout out them losing their funding recently, had a source that was about 2 years ago, them and Redfin combined found that Kent County was one of the top 5 most likely counties to crash in the country because median income versus median cost of a home,
Yeah.
just flat out. So, and that kind of goes to our conversation. There's just not a lot of
Like if I was a business
career-worthy
owner,
positions.
if I was a business owner, I would not want to place my business in Kent County because who's going to be able to afford to keep it
Not
afloat?
as much consumer spending.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think pre-COVID there was a lot more clear paths, right? You could go 2, 3, 4 dozen different places, and you'd still probably turn out well. Your life would be good. You could buy a house. You could do this. Job-wise, and that's much more. Here's your options. You need to pick one and stick to one. I've had a lot of friends go through like the apprentice program through HVAC, plumbing, electrician, and then wash out year 1, year 2 because they just didn't enjoy it, and now they're into something else. Where nowadays in Delaware, that's not an option. You can't jump from one place to one place. If you want something, there's money. Go chase it. You have to go do it.
I agree.
That was a fun little conversation.
Yeah.
There's currently 3,306 homes on the market. Carla, does that number go up or down over the course of this year?
This year, I think it's gonna. Well, I guess it depends, but I think it's gonna go up, or at least I don't think it's gonna go very down. It's either gonna stay or go
You
up
think
a
maybe
little bit.
it doesn't go below 3?
Yes, correct.
Stays above that 3,000 mark. Agree? Disagree?
Pretty slow.
Median home prices right now in Delaware sit at $387,000. Next 12 months, they go up or down?
Stagnant.
Stagnant. Okay. Mortgage rates currently sitting at 6.71%, 30-year average for conventional. It's about 6.4 for FHA and VA. Next 12 months, that go up or down?
Down.
Stagnant.
I think stagnant.
Got
Up a little
down,
bit,
stagnant,
Stagnant,
Stagnant.
or
Down,
the
but not
variable
much.
of God knows what will happen because
A
politics
lot,
went
yeah.
boom.
Of course, the 30-year rate, for those listening, like, you don't know what controls the 10-year Treasury bond controls the 30-year mortgage. That's directly affected by the Fed rate. The Fed isn't moving their rate. If we get a new Fed chair next year or sooner, because he's threatening to fire him, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's not probably not going to happen. That the next person will more than likely lower rates. Hopefully, a lot of people are hoping that will bring rates down, but honestly, I think when the rates do drop, that the curtain's finally going to be revealed to the fact that rates weren't keeping you from buying a house.
Yep.
Property taxes have gone up, home insurance has gone up, home prices have gone up 47% since
Yeah.
COVID. Like, yes, rates are definitely not helping, but we're talking about a world where if we went from 6.5 to 4.5, you've gone from a $2,600 mortgage to a $2,350 mortgage.
And now that price point, that same home is going to go up because
Now
and-
there's more pressure from more buyers who
Not
have
so
more
much
buying
will
power.
offer.
Yes.
Well, we've
Yeah.
said this for forever. We don't want to see 6.5 to 4.5
No.
like that. We want to see. I want to see 6.5 to 5.8.
That's fair.
5.6. I mean, just
Slowly
just
but surely.
Slow.
Well, if you look at the
sure.
graph, I know we're not bringing it up on here, but if you look one up and look at the Fed rate or the 30-year rate, you'll see that from 2022 on, we went from near historic low rates to whoom, immediately. And a lot of that, of what we're going through right now, the problem isn't just the fact that we're at these sixes, it's how quickly we went to them. We went from an on-fire market, everybody's buying, everybody's happy, sell your home for multiple offers, to
Stop.
to stop. Yes. Hold up. Yes. Hold up. Any last takes for those listening, thinking about making the relocation to the great state of Delaware? Everyone's going to have a final word. Carla, I want you to start it off.
I don't know.
All right. Carla says she doesn't.
Bring it back to me.
Okay. Have a conversation today. No matter whether you're relocating or you're local Delaware looking to
Give
buy
me your
your
number.
home
Give
phone.
me your number.
Hey guys, 302. Realistically, have a conversation sooner than later so you can create a game plan. Because if you game plan, you'll know what it is you need to do at the end of the day, and it'll put you in the best position possible.
Patricia, and actually give your phone number.
302-423-2881. Delaware's still a great place to buy, and I think it will be for, here to 10 years from now. I think it'll still be a great buy and a great spot. For the locals, definitely reach out, see what we can do, and what works best, and just trying to understand that, anyone that has said that they've bought in the last 5 years, go and ask them if they regret it. And I tell you right now, they'll probably say no. So definitely just
Unless they had a bad realtor and their home was messed up. That's not an us. Not an
Or
us.
they bought a Ryan home.
Yes. Other than that, it was good.
But yeah.
All right, give me a call, 302-331-1827. But I would say the relocator, you're going to find that Delaware still has much more affordable cost of living for you, price of home, all of those things combined. You're going to love that. You're going to love the convenience of Delaware as far as location, back to your state or two away from us. For the local, just understand that the opportunity does exist for a purchase for you. It may be now, it may be in 6 months, it may be in 2 years, but we're here for you. We're here for the long run, and we can help you through that process.
Wow.
great.
Good job.
My little elevator pitch for Delaware would be, right now the main focus needs to be growth in hospitals and highways. As long as that happens, Delaware will keep growing like a weed. There's no better option financially in the 6-state radius of us. There's no better opportunity, in my opinion, to buy a home and see it appreciate over the next 5 to 6 years. And quite honestly, we're one of the best beach states in the entire country. You can't knock the fact that if you go to Manhattan Beach in New York all the way down to Florida, most all have become extremely expensive. It's not very kitschy and touristy. Delaware's kind of found a way to be in the middle and not quite be that. It's still a fun beach. The schools obviously need to grow. The politicians are absolutely aware of our problems, and those are moratoriums floating around. Maybe we will see a Halton building that leads to time to get more infrastructure in. But I think Delaware, as a owner of real estate, it's going to be a great investment at the very least, and a great state to live in.
For me, I think for the locals, don't be afraid to buy, if whatever you can afford, something that you need to fix up. I mean, for me, I bought a home that was not in the best condition for cheaper, and fix it up, and it's worth $100,000 more from 3 years ago. And I think same thing with Patricia. She bought something that she had to fix it up. I don't know about you guys, but I think you need to set your expectations, or be realistic. You're not gonna get that first time home buyer home, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath with a 2-car garage. It's not gonna happen anymore, unfortunately. So start low, fix it up, build equity, buy something 5 years. Upgrade. But I think my phone number is 979-402-1287.
Hey, Sean, when I talk, could you put my phone number below?
No,
I'd appreciate
don't
that.
do that. No,
Sean. I know what you like, Sean.
No editing. Not
Do
one.
not call Austin.
Thank you for tuning into the podcast, y'all. Our website is loftteamde.com. You can find it in the bio, as well as the phone numbers for all of our lovely agents here, except Austin. Subscribe. See you guys next time.